is Toftedahl. I have been traveling all the way from Skövde. Has anybody been in Skövde? Except you two. That's a coincidence because they have lived in Skövde, which is a small town just next to Skövde. We don't know each other at all. So but anyway, University of Skövde is in Sweden. Here's the world, and Sweden is here. And we zoom into Skövde just to give you a little bit background of where I'm from. So, small town with about 50,000 inhabitants, but we have a university that is really big on computer games, game development, game research, and a special subject within games that's called serious games. And that means using games for other purposes than pure entertainment. But we still want to have the entertainment part in the games because games can engage users and tell stories that no other medium can. So, my name is Toftedahl, as I said. I'm a lecturer in game development, game design, game writing. Currently, I'm mostly a PhD student within a subject called Socio-technical systems, which means the intersection between technology and the society, so people using technology, and games are a perfect example of that. I have also been doing quite a lot of different game development and research projects, and a few of them I will talk about today, and especially the ones that we have done regarding games in museums and cultural heritage sites. So, at the University of Skövde, so this is a picture from last week. We got our first snow, a little bit different from here. We have 5 programs within game development, game design, programming, graphic, game writing, and sound and music. And we have about 500 students who study game development in some of our programs. We also have 2 master level programs aimed at serious games and digital narration at cultural heritage sites. So I'm really glad to be here and talk about the projects that we have done. And I'm going to talk about 3 projects. One that is a mixed reality adventure that we did in collaboration with Karlsborg's Fortress, which is a fortress in Sweden. And the second one, it's a museum exhibition called It's About Time that we did in collaboration with the Region Museum of Kristianstad in southern Sweden. So we did a whole museum exhibition with the subject of time and used a lot of game and games technology in the museum space. The last project I will talk about is called The Mystery of Saint Elin, and it's about teaching young children the history of Skövde as a city using a digital game, a mobile game, where you walk around in the city to solve different missions and also learn about history. But, well, go back from the beginning. This is an example of the first computer game. It's called Tennis for Two. And it is a tennis game where 2 players play tennis against each other. It was developed on a research facility in the United States by a researcher called William Higginbotham in 1958. And every year the research facility had an open house day where family and friends could come and visit. And well, the researchers were supposed to talk about what they were doing in their research projects. The research was about advanced physics and ballistics, and a little bit hard to explain to the common public. So William Higginbotham, as the researcher was called, developed a game that related to this kind of research-related question that they did. So you could play tennis, but you could also alter the gravity on the playing field. So you could play tennis on the moon, and the ball would have a very wide angle of flight, and you could alter it to play on a big planet like Jupiter, where the gravity is low, and the ball was barely coming over the net. And by using that kind of game, they could talk more about what they were doing in terms of ballistics and advanced physics calculation. So, and this is something that we as researchers in Skövde has using games to tell something that's maybe not that easily graspable, but maintaining the fun in games as well. And this is something that also when the first commercial games, we'll also get a little bit of gaming history here. This is an example of the first commercial game, an arcade game developed by Atari called Computer Space. And this was a complete flop. It was a disaster commercially. Nobody understood how to play it because it was too advanced. And bear in mind, this was the first example of computer game, so maybe today 4 buttons wouldn't be that hard to understand how to play, but it was first when they did their second game, Pong, where we go back to the tennis again. This is also a digital tennis game. They used an easy interface and also a super easy instruction. Deposit quarter, ball will serve automatically, avoid missing ball for high score. So people understood how to play immediately, and that is something that we have used in our serious games projects. And serious games is a subset of games, a subject itself, and it can also be called applied games, gamification, entertainment, game-based learning. But the thing is the same, to use games as a mean of learning something or doing something else with a purpose other than pure entertainment. So this is our definition from my research colleagues at the university. So serious games are games that engage the user and contribute to the achievement of a defined purpose other than pure entertainment, whether the user is aware of it or not. So we have done a lot of research projects. The first that I did was within the rescue services field. We used games for training of firefighters. This is a smoke diving simulator where the firefighter could train how to navigate in unknown spaces. This is an example of a game for rescue leaders who were supposed to train strategy on an accident site. But today I will talk about the games that we have done in museums and cultural heritage sites. Starting with the Karlsborg Fortress adventure. And if you have any questions while I'm talking, just raise your hand and I'll try to answer it as best as I can. So this is a project, and bear in mind, all these 3 projects are research projects. So we have done research on them from different kinds of perspectives. But in order to do research on them, we had to develop something. So we have developed fairly advanced computer games in the projects as an artifact to do research on. So Karlsborg's Fortress Adventure was a mixed reality guided tour on site at the historical Karlsborg Fortress. And so this is a picture of Karlsborg's Fortress. It's a really small town, about 5,000 inhabitants, but they are quite a big tourist attraction, especially in the summer. Both the fortress and also there is Göta Canal, which is a canal going from the east coast to the west coast of Sweden. So it's a lot of boating tourists. But they found out that their previous guided tour, which was made in early 90s, the visitor numbers were declining, so they needed to do something new. So they turned to us at the university and asked if we could help them with developing a game that would attract new audiences, but also to tell the history of Karlsborg's Fortress using a fictional story, but relating to the actual history of the fortress, while also engaging the user. So this is a promotion video of the project. So the tour itself, it starts with an introduction movie, a live action movie that sets the tone. This is the evil Sergeant Steelhammer who has stolen all the gold. And that's the part of the fictional story, but it engages the group that's supposed to be on the tour. And while on the tour, you're not guided by an ordinary guide, but it's a live action role-playing game where the tour leader plays a role of a person living in the fortress in the 18th century. So the group is really engaged and they get to be on site on the So we did a storyline that related to both the historical parts and also these digital games. So we're traveling through 3 different kind of mediums, starting with a movie, and then the live action, and then a computer game, where the users or visitors are supposed to do different kind of tasks and parts in the story. And in order to achieve this, we needed to make a game that could work in this environment. It's important to maintain the feel and looks of the old fortress, of course. So we cannot build anything. It's a cultural site, so we couldn't do too much of alteration. So we needed to needed to use old style materials when making these kind of gaming stations. And we also wanted to engage the users, so we custom built different kind of games controller. So these are the playstations that you stand on and you use your body in order to control the game. So this is a few shots from the gaming room, and we modeled the fortress also in the game engine. So you recognize the places you have been to in the fortress in the digital game as well, and also a part where you are walking outside the fortress, modeling an authentic view of the actual village around the fortress in the game engine in 3D, and you can interact with it. But you also have these fictional parts, of course, in the game. So this, where you're going through the village, there are a lot of rats moving around, and you're supposed to pick up rats by the tail and steal the gold coin that the rat has in their mouth. And of course, that's purely fictional, but it is a fun game that engages the users and enhances the experience. So we did research on this as well, and the research was about if the visitors can tell the difference between the facts and the fiction. So we did a large user survey, talking to about 500 visitors during the summer, to check if they understood what was the actual history and what was the fictional storyline. And that is really important for a cultural heritage site, so we don't fool people into believing that there were actual rats with gold in their mouth running around in Kosovo. And luckily, it turned out that our research showed that, well, the visitors were very well aware of the actual history and the fictional storyline.
What kind of display was that in that museum?
Yeah.
Because we really have very good display.
It is, and that was chosen because of it's a display that you cannot find anywhere else.
Yeah.
So it's a round display, and it's also a half sphere, so you can stand really close to it, but also use the movement controls. So it gives better immersion. So it's like a ball cut in half.
It's kind of like IMAX.
Yeah. And this was a little bit before the virtual reality.
Projection or something?
Sorry?
Some kind of projection is going on?
Yes, a bank project. So we had a lot of problems of making the picture clear because it was stretched in the outer spaces of the screen. But it really added to the immersion, and that is also something that is important for cultural heritage sites, to have something that is cool, something that you cannot find at home. Because that's one of the difficulties when dealing with games. Today games are really advanced at home, but you need to provide something that you cannot find at home, or in an arcade, or in a cyber cafe, or whatever.
Excuse me?
Yes?
How long what is the duration of a session?
The whole session is about an hour, starting from the start and to the end, but the gaming section is about 10 minutes of that hour. So it's a relatively small part, but it's rather intense. You're supposed to move on it. Yeah.
Sorry, I came turn late. So, yesterday you were talking about kind of the problem of having short sessions, that we don't get games which like this, which can engage in
Yeah.
long sessions, right? Long narrative sessions.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you keep the narrative interesting?
Yeah.
And how do you actually kind of
Yeah.
get the immersion working, the involvement working?
That's a really good question. And since the game is only a small part of a longer guided tour, the tour itself is about an hour long and you have a guide with you. So this is only a small part of the narrative. So you get the complete narrative from start to finish if you take the whole tour. But the game is just, and I don't know if the game itself adds that much to the narrative in this case. It's more like a cool thing. But that's the main purpose with the game in this project. I'm moving on. The next question, the next project is a little bit different. It's not on an historical site, but we designed an exhibition that was supposed to travel around Sweden in different kind of museums. So we needed to gamify a museum exhibition and make games about time. And we also needed to do some kind of visual compatibility between the games and the physical appearance of the exhibition itself. And also, this is really important to make the games playable by anyone visiting the museum. It's not for gamers or only for kids. It's a broad audience, age-wise from 5 years to 85 years. And that's quite a challenge when making games. So this is a quick tour of the exhibition just before it opened on the premiere day. So there it seems a little empty because there's no people inside, but it will give you an idea of what we did and how we used games and game technology to make the museum space more interactive. So the exhibition starts off with you taking one of these cards, and you're supposed to punch in a time machine. I pick up a card. Maybe. Yeah. So the exhibition itself starts out with an interactive station. When you log into this machine, then you get to answer different kind of questions. So this is a quiz game in itself, and there are about 4 or 5 different login stations in the museum exhibition as well, where you get to well, answer questions in a quiz game environment. And the data is also visualized in real time on different kind of art installations in the exhibition. So when I log in this station, there will be a difference in the display. So this is, we built a phone booth where you could log in and listen to different people telling about their experiences of time. And we also did a few specific iPad games relating to time. And this is from a novelist called Michael Ende, German author, about a book called Momo. This is a virtual train ride where you could pull the emergency brake to stop the time. And this was quite interesting because it took quite a long time before the first person dared to pull the emergency brake, which could be seen as a good thing, of course, because you should not pull emergency brakes on actual trains. But in this case, you get something out of doing it. And this exhibition has been touring Sweden for the last 2 years now. And I think it has been in 10 museums and will be in 5 more before the exhibition is put to an end. And the challenge here was also to make a technologically advanced exhibition that could be used by any museum. So it's not just about the end user as the visitor, it's also about the museums. How are you supposed to set up a technologically advanced system without maybe having a technological personnel on site? So we really had to make it user-friendly from multiple perspectives, both for the museum itself, in order to make it maintainable, and also to make the user experience for the visitors as good as possible. I will talk a little bit about the games, specifically one game that was, well, we made games related to time, and sometimes games are considered a waste of time, right? And we wanted to find the game that should be the most waste of time. How can you just waste the time the most? So we found a game called Cookie Clicker, and in that game, the only thing you do is click. You have it on a smartphone, and you have an icon, and you click it. And that's the only thing you do. And the strange thing is that that kind of games are super popular. People play those games a lot. So we tried to do a clicker game in the museum. And since we have used computers and game systems for everything, we could also log the users to see how they use these kind of game-related things, the interactive stations, for how long they used it, and where at what time period. So we could get a lot of data out of the exhibition itself. And the funny thing, or sad thing, about the clicker game was when we looked at the logs after the first week, there was one person who had clicked this icon 10,000 times. And that is a real waste of time, which makes, well, me happy, because, well, we related to time and want them to waste time. And that's also interesting to see the power of game mechanics and the power of these reward systems. When you have clicked this for 100 times the first time, the pile of money rises. And when you reach 100, then you put the money into the bank and you get a score, and then it continues. So it's also a reward system. And it's interesting to see that these kind of very simple and stupid maybe game mechanics, they work. They work really well, and a little bit too well in some cases. The other thing that we thought would be cool was this visualization system where the user logged into the system and got to answer a quiz question and could compete with others, and also got their you could see where you were in the exhibition space. So when I logged into that one, I would appear here as an icon. This one was something that we put a lot of time into to make work. There are wireless connections and there are tracking devices and everything, but nobody understood what it was about. Nobody understood it at all. And we made user service, and we also saw from the statistics that the users, they maybe logged in 1 or 2 times, and then nobody used it anymore. So that's also something that not to make it too complicated. So this was more a game developer's exhibition than an ordinary museum visitor. And that was related a little bit to the research that we did on this. So the research was about, do museum visitors use interactive stations, and if so, what kind of station and for how long? So we gathered user data from the exhibition during 2 months last year, and these were 2 of the things that we found out. The simple game mechanics were the things that worked really well in this case. I will talk about this as well a little bit. This is called The Mystery of St. Ian. It's a location-based game, which we're supposed to tell and teach local history for kids at, well, 8 to 10 years old. And a location-based game is a game that you play on site. You are where you are supposed to be in the geography. Exactly. So this was predating Pokemon by some years, but it's the exact same game mechanics behind it. Using Google Maps and using fictional missions and storylines to make kids explore Skövde as a city using a smartphone or a tablet device. And also, like in the Karlsborg's Fortress adventure, blending fiction with the actual history. So this was made as a research project in collaboration with the municipality of Skövde and also the Skövde Museum. So they wanted people to explore Skövde, and they had these kind of guided tours around the city center, but they also wanted to do something for kids and for families to attract them. So you're playing the game on a specific location, in this case, Skövde Central City, and using the tracking technology in a smartphone with GPS, compass and camera, exactly like the Pokemon Go game uses. And we also did a fictional storyline where a girl called Elin, who is also the protective saint of Skövde, she found a mysterious book in the library, and some creepy persons wanted that book and kidnapped Elin. And then the mission is to help Elin to find out what happened and where she is and so. And she communicates with the users via an email or a chat messaging service. So have different kind of puzzle pieces that you're supposed to get together by walking around the central parts of Skövde. So this is from the hotel in Skövde. There are some Roman numerals on it, and the task here is to get what year the hotel was built. And when you do that, you get a piece of the puzzle, and moving around on different kind of locations. And this was used in schools, and tourists could also go to the library or to the local tourist office and get to load an iPad if they didn't have a smartphone with them, to experience this kind of gamified city walk. So this is some pictures from when we did the user tests, and this is from the old part of Skövde where houses are from. I think the oldest is from the 14th century. The city has burned a lot of times during the history, so there's just a few really old houses left. And using the camera, for instance, in this mission you were supposed to go and find this sign, which is on one of these old houses, and take a photo of it. And when you take a photo of it, it recognizes that you have been there, and you get to be rewarded with a new part of the mission and a new part of the story as well. Because the story is also important here, just as it was in the Karlsborg adventure. The mix between actual history and the fictional storyline. So that's also an interesting balance between things. This was something that we found out when we did this kind of game. One mission, you were supposed to go around the church in the city center and count how many statues of a lion there were around it. But as a game designer, you are used to have total control of the game world, right? I make the game world as I want. I can alter physics, like in the first example of the Tennis for Two game, I can alter everything. But when we put games in the real world, we cannot take into account all the details or all the factors that apply to it. So we used the church in Skövde as a part of a mission, but during the premiere summer of the game, the church was renovated, so you couldn't access it. Stop. No entrance. You couldn't come near it, and therefore the mission was, well, it was of no use. And that's also, well, it might seem quite obvious in hindsight, but as a game designer, we were not used to have to deal with this kind of unknowns that could happen. And I mean, if you have followed the discussions around Pokemon Go, a lot of things are related to that as well. Finding Pokemons in places where you shouldn't find Pokemons. And the research around this is, well, can you learn history from a video game? So we tried that on kids, school kids in 3rd and 4th grade, yeah, 100 pupils. And it seemed like they got something out of it. They understood that Skövde wasn't built in just a short period of time. It was a long process from ranging back from at least the 1400th century. And also they got to know a little bit more about the history, about Saint Eling as the protective saint of Skövde. So, and they had a lot of fun while doing it as well. And that's also one of the main purposes, keep the fun in games and to engage the user for a purpose other than pure entertainment. So two last things. The game, they shouldn't replace anything, they should enhance. I mean, even if you have a game in school, you should not exchange the games for books or stuff like that. And the same thing with museum and cultural heritage spaces. You need to preserve what makes those places interesting from the start and use games and interactive media to enhance that, to make users more interested in the place that you have. And this is also something that I, as a games researcher, find very interesting. The different kind of users. Some people want to be engaged and to do stuff, to interact with different kind of objects in the museum. Others, they like to observe. And you need to take that into account as well, different kind of visitors. So you don't become a gaming museum. It shouldn't be choosers. So the activeness or passiveness of the visitors is really important to take into consideration when doing this kind of projects. Right. That was my story for today.